Hello YouTube, my name is Caleb Waller, and I've just finished watching the Happy Console Gamer movie, which was just recently released by Johnny Millenium. So I'm basically going to just do a very quick review of the movie in general, express my thoughts about the film, good things about it, any slight negativities about it or anything else, just my own opinion towards the film, because I think it would be great if a lot of people did do reviews on this film. So anyway, so I'm not really a big viewer of Happy Console Gamer. I've never really sort of subscribed to him. I do watch a few videos here and there, but I've never really been a true loyal fan, if you would like to call it that. But I was intrigued when he did actually release the film, because I was excited to see it. And at first, when he announced the news about the film, I assumed that it wouldn't actually be free to watch. I would thought that he might have put it on a different website or released it onto DVD like Ashens did with his film, his DVD of all of his reviews on one disc. So I was really surprised that he decided to put it on YouTube. But yeah, anyway, so the film itself is just over an hour long, which is quite a good length considering, you know, for YouTube standards. You know, a 90-minute film is probably too long for people to watch. People like myself who haven't got a really good internet connection, you know, it's not very practical to let a 90-minute film buffer over a slow connection. But what I personally did was I tried to watch it in HD because that's the best picture quality, but it kept buffering, so I just used the Firefox browser to download the actual full film in 360p. So that was about 250 megabytes. So I just downloaded the whole film and watched it off the computer, as I didn't have time to watch the whole thing in one go. I sort of paused it and resumed back to it, so that was better for me personally, but obviously each to their own. But that was the good thing. It's just over an hour, and it doesn't feel like you're sitting here for a whole hour. When I usually watch films, I tend to get bored. I usually check to see how long there is of the film left, if a film's not entertaining me. But with this film, I never once looked at how long of the film there was left. I was always entertained, and I always genuinely thought I was watching a Hollywood production. And I'm reviewing this film based on the actual budget. You know, got to take in consideration that, you know, he didn't have hundreds of thousands of dollars or even millions to fund for such a project. It took a lot of effort and time to also make the film and edit it all together. But yeah, obviously the main character is Johnny Millenium himself. Does a superb performance with the acting, and it's amazing how he came up with such a story. I'm fascinated, as I am one person myself. I'm a personal collector who collects rare and unique special items. I actually quite like the whole story, and I also like the other character who was in it, the crazy guy. He sort of reminded me of myself, being obsessed with owning everything, and especially the relic system. Relics is such a cool concept for a name, and I was actually interested in knowing how the actual system was made. It looked like some sort of plastic casing of some sort with a custom made logo. So obviously you see the odd screenshot here and there of the actual system being used, and obviously the box art and the cartridges were taken from the Master System idea, which was cool. But the whole idea of the story, it's good that when you first start watching it, you know the story straight away, and even before the film starts itself, you've got this really awesome startup logo, if you want to call it. When you always see Warner Brothers or 20th Century Fox or Columbia TriStar, any sort of logo at the beginning, this was really professionally well made before the film started, and that was really awesome to see as well. So you get back into the film, and you know, a lot of small details have taken well into consideration, with the number plate of his car, putting the whole Happy Console Gamer logo on it. It was really cool. Obviously it was a necessity as well, but at the same time, because he did that, he went that extra mile to make sure that there was no laziness or slacking involved with the production, and it made the whole movie experience more enjoyable. And like I said, his acting was fantastic, but I also loved the acting from the crazy weird guy as well, who had his pet toy, Mr. Fufu, who he sort of got crazy at the end after playing the actual video game. I don't really want to go too much into the film. I know there's a lot of people who still haven't seen it, so I don't really want this to be a sort of spoilers review. But personally, the film should be on IMDb. I mean, there's a lot of rubbish on IMDb that shouldn't even exist on IMDb. This should be on IMDb for people to actually rate and to put reviews of their own. I don't personally review anything on IMDb. There's just too many films that I've seen, not enough time to review every single one, so it's just whole ridiculous. I just use the website to see scores of films that have either come out or coming out in the future, or ones that I've seen in the past. So just a sort of brief study on what films to watch and what not to watch. But you know, you've got a load of crap on IMDb. Titanic 2, Justin Bieber's movie, things like that shouldn't be on there. This deserves to be on that website, and it is a really good film. And like I said, I'm not a fanboy of Happy Console Gamer. I don't watch many of his videos at all, but the film was extraordinary, you know, with the acting and also the locations and everything. The music was really well produced. The camera usage. I mean, I've studied film studies and media in college for 2 years, so I know about a little bit about doing my own production, and what he achieved was not easy at all. You know, especially with the actual story. The story has to be consistent and remain consistent, and this was very much consistent. Now, one of the downsides though, first of all, Gamester 81 John made an appearance in the film, which was a pleasant surprise. I wasn't expecting that, but I personally truly believed that his role could have been enhanced a lot better than what it was. We only see him for 5 seconds, so a really brief cameo appearance, but I really personally believe his role could have been made to much better use than what it was. I know the film is very funny, it's more of a comedy film, and his role was really hilarious, but I personally believed as the story evolved around a rare game system, rare games, the relic system, the heart of the story, he could have been used. You could just imagine a scene where Johnny, you know, makes a trip to his house or meets him up in a place, and he you know, checks his collection of games, because everybody knows he's famous for having like one of the largest collections of games and systems ever. You could just imagine a scene where he's checking his whole collection, and you know, it could go both ways. He could either have the relic system, or he could not have the relic system and get it from where he got it in the story in the actual film anyway. But you know, as it was dealing with that whole story, I thought that's what he could have been used for, instead of just the quick little cameo in the parking lot. As I said, I don't really want to put many spoilers out there, but I have to explain a bit further instead of just saying I wanted him in a different role, or you know, without explaining, the review wouldn't be any good without me going into depth. So for me, he could have done that, and we know he is a good actor himself, as well as Johnny Millenium. So you know, he did a good performance, even though it was a quick cameo, but he could have easily managed that concept, that idea of doing that in the first place in his house, or it could have just been an imaginary place, or it could have been a video phone call on the iPhone, or just something where, you know, he's well known for that instead of, you know, what actually happened in the film. But anyway, you know, that was the only negative downside that I had about the film. That could have been improved. A lot of people would have thought different things. Maybe a lot of people are thinking that he could have been used in something else in a different situation, or maybe people didn't want him in it at all. You know, it was Happy Console Gamer. You know, Gamester 81, maybe people feel he shouldn't have been in it, or should have been a main character in it along with Rob Mann as well. There's a lot of different opinions, but that's personally my own opinion towards it, and that's what I basically thought really. But yeah, it's a very fun film, and there is cheekily a few little elements there that have a few little ideas that have been taken from you know, classic films like you know, I wouldn't really want to give examples, but classic 80s films. I can't remember exactly what came to mind when I watched it, but there was a specific movie. I don't know if it was Blade Runner or Star Wars or something. I know Star Wars and Blade Runner posters are shown in the film in certain scenes, but there was just elements. Don't know if it was to do with the music or a certain scene, but I can't remember specifically. There was too much to absorb all in one go. So, like I said, I watched it in parts, but there was a few elements taken from different films, which is totally cool. Makes the film even more entertaining, you know. And overall, I would give this film a good 8.5 out of 10. If it was on IMDb, I would give it an 8.5 out of 10. I know they don't really do halves. I know they do an overall score, you know, so between an 8 and a 9 to be safe. And I would actually look forward to seeing a sequel if Johnny's ever going to plan on making one, or if any other YouTuber decides to make their own feature film. Maybe Gamester 81 might make his own film, and you know, Johnny Millenium's in it as a cameo. Who knows what the future holds? But I just think it's a really good film, and it was really nice of him to let everybody watch it for free. I've got it on my laptop now, and it will be staying there. It won't be deleted ever. And it truly is one of my most favourite films of the past few years, because, you know, the past few years there's been a lot of crap in the cinema, a lot of junk. This hasn't even been out on DVD or the cinema, you know, it's just an independent release because of his YouTube channel and everything. And I really hope it gets a wider audience and it continues with the views, and you know, hopefully it could actually turn into something big for him. I wish him all the best. And yeah, so if you haven't seen the film, I highly recommend you do so. Yeah, it was hard for me to watch it in installments. I didn't want to stop the film, and I just wanted to watch the whole thing, and when it ended I wanted to see more. So maybe next time a more longer thing, but as I said, you know, it's YouTube. A lot of people obviously don't have the ability to watch such long films, and you know, don't forget YouTube was originally designed as a video channel with just 30-second, 1-minute clips, and now it's evolved and expanded into such a huge sort of movie-based place for people to watch much longer films. But anyway, yeah, so thumbs up from me anyway. So I hope Johnny Millenium, you're watching this review video, and if you're not, then no worries. But yeah, absolutely fantastic effort, and I hope you continue to make another great film in the future. That's all from me, guys. Justin Bieber 4D, aka London Caleb, back with another video soon. Bye for now.